He was a charter operator from the France Charter School. And he smiled at the Bessie Board members as he told them about a lie about his charter school. Bessie Board member Miss Hill and Lolly Beebe called him out on it. Then Patrick Dobar and Kira Jones took off their hoods, and to my surprise, to the surprise of some people, they were African Americans. People sat there listening to the lies that were being told of a great job the Recovery School District was doing. Then, the students from Walter L. Cohen, L. B. Landry, and Sarah T. Reed Senior High School told the truth about how RSD has failed and is still failing them. I went to the Bessie Board meetings that night saying I wasn't going to say nothing. I was going to keep my mouth closed and just sit quiet. But after listening to those kids trying to save themselves, I had to say something. I walked up to the mic and I sat down and I introduced myself. And I looked at Patrick Dobar and I said, Patrick, I am getting tired of hearing you telling these lies about how great RSD schools are. You talk about the kids at Cohen, you released their teachers because the teachers were bad. That's not true. Those teachers at Cohen were released because the teachers at John McDonald was going to have to lose their job because they didn't have enough students at John McDonald. So instead of firing those teachers who just came into the city, you let the teachers go from Cohen. Then I listened to the students from Landry, and I talked about what Landry did. And I explained to those people on the Bessie Board members, I have been out there with the children for Cohen. I have been out there with the children from Reed. I have been out there with the children from Landry. Patrick Dobar talks about how his door is open for the kids. He was lying. I told the Bessie Board and everyone else in the audience that I went on a bus ride with the kids from Cohen to the RSD. And there were some students from Landry that showed up as well. And we demonstrated outside of the RSD, right across the street from the Superdome. When the kids tried to go into the building so they could make an appointment to talk to Patrick Dobar, they were not allowed to get into the building. So, and then I went on because they were talking about how great they are. I started talking about testing. I'm tired of people talking about testing and turning around school. I explained to Patrick Dobar and the people sitting on the Bessie Board that I was teaching at a school, Mary G. Coghill Elementary School. They call it Accelerated School now. And they were cheating on the test in 2010, 2011. I told John White when he was the superintendent of RSD that there was cheating going on at that school. John White in turn told me that he was not going to investigate my allegations of cheating. Now here it is, I'm sitting down talking to at that time, the superintendent of RSD, and I'm an educator, and I'm telling him about cheating that's going on at a school, and he's telling me that he's not going to investigate. And then he went on to tell me that he's going to talk to some of his people and see if they can give me some type of job. And that's where he messed up, because I'm not one of these people that you can buy and you can't sell me. So once he realized that that wasn't the deal, I wound up being released from the RSD. But when the test scores came out the following year, let me back up. The first year Coghill was in existence, 53% of the students passed the test. The second year, 65% of the students passed the test. The third year, 75% of the students passed the test. It was the third year when I told them about the cheating. That following year, 57% of the students passed the test. And I asked the Bessie Board members, every year they gained 10%. After I say it about the cheating, they went down. And you know why they went down? Because they were cheating. And I finished my statement, I got up, and I had to leave because I was just that upset. I'm tired of hearing people lying about what's going on, how great these schools are, and our children are suffering. And as I looked around the audience, there were a whole lot of people that were not there. The kids had a meeting that Monday night at Christian Unity Church. People came out and supported them, and we were told to go to the Bessie Board meeting. But when we got there, those same people that was there Monday night was not there Wednesday. Was not there Wednesday. So again, People, stop playing games with our children. Our children are suffering and they deserve better. And with that said, I have a couple students in the building with me this morning, and I'm gonna let them tell you how they feel. Okay, introduce yourselves.
Good morning. My name is Megan McKinnon. I am a senior at Walter L. Cohen.
My name is Terrell Midge. I'm also a senior at Cohen.
Okay, let me bring in line 3 so we let her introduce herself. You got one on the phone. Hello. Speak up. What's your name?
My name is Dr.
And what school you representing? Okay. Okay, so let's go on and have a conversation. Where did that humming come from? Okay, now tell me, how did y'all feel about the Bessie Board meeting Wednesday night? Who wants to go first? Go ahead.
I felt that nothing was being done. Everybody was just giving us the runaround. Patrick Dobar never really answered any of our questions when we asked him about the things that he's done to our school. So I felt we was just having a communication. We was just talking, and it was just going through one ear and coming out the other.
So let me ask you this. So did you feel like I felt, and like I feel when I go to these Bessie Board meetings, that the people that are sitting up there on that board, they're not listening to you at all?
Right.
They're just looking at you and waiting on you to hurry up and finish so they can get back to what they need to do.
Yes.
So do you actually think they are concerned about what you are discussing while you sit at that table?
Not at all.
Okay, come on, brothers. Let's see.
I think you're right about that. I think that's the point of them sitting up and not sitting down, is that they really don't care about us. I felt like at the Bessie Board meeting, nothing was accomplished, because if something was accomplished, there would be things for us to do right now and people for us to talk to about our problems, but, you know, they just lay us off as they always do. And Dana Peterson tried to talk to us behind the scenes. He tried to get us to send us our problems or whatever, like, as if he could do something about it. And, you know, it was just, like, pretty much a waste of our time.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Have y'all got your certified chemistry teacher at Cohen yet?
No, sir.
Okay. And
we actually lost another teacher. They fired our math teacher.
Right. So, and that's what I'm not understanding. We got all these so-called, quote-unquote, community leaders. They're saying they're so concerned about these children. You know, and I'm hearing it coming out their mouth, but I'm not seeing it in their actions. You know, and it's really beginning to irk me. You know, because not only do we have problems with racist white folks keeping our children down, we having problems with people that look like us that are using our children for their own agenda. They're not trying to help our children. Miss, what it is, Janchelle? Come on, tell me what you thought about the Bessie Board meeting.
I felt like it was a joke. Because it was just like they basically knew what was going on, because the children have been telling them, the parents, because they're telling them what we want to interman in writing, verbally, physically. And they basically, they just saying, yeah, but all over. So, I mean, but the same thing about it is they really don't know what's going on between when they don't come down to them. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so would you like to add something? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ashana Beegard. And I guess what I wanted to add is the only thing that did surprise me is that when Lottie BB did put a motion on the floor to investigate RSD, and then it was seconded by Ms. Hill, you know, and so I mean, I got a teeny bit hopeful, just a teeny bit hopeful. And then, of course, to have Romer amended to just a report from Patrick Dobard, and then Kira Orange-Jones to second that really, I'm going to say that I haven't expected a lot from Ms. Jones, but I have started to become hopeful when I was talking to Ms. Eric Jones, who I do respect, and Coach Skip. So talking to them assuring me that she was on our children's side, I got a teeny bit hopeful. But then when she seconded that motion for Mr. Rama, that killed that. So,
you know, and see, and by that time I had to left, you know, because I'm to the point. Y'all remember y'all had the meeting at Cohen, and Patrick Dobar was standing up there telling lies, and I was standing right next to him, and I know even I did too. Everybody in the building thought I was about to hit Patrick Dobar. because Patrick Dobar, after all the information I gave him about Steve Barr, how Steve Barr had stole $50,000, but had to repay $50,000, how he's not successfully educating our children, how he has the children that's coming out of his school, 88 were not proficient in mathematics, 98 were not proficient in language art, but he's steady getting charter schools. How he are paying people to report on closed door and backdoor meetings to him. How he is a part of the advisory board that said who gets charter and who do not. And the scary part about it, I had an interview with a reporter about 2 weeks ago, and I shared the same information with that reporter. And I called that reporter on yesterday, and I asked him what was going on with the information. He said the people that he write for, they don't want to touch the story. Not only they don't want to touch the story, they got other 2 papers that don't want to touch the story because of 3 names that I'm talking about. You know, and I'm telling people, this looked like some Ku Klux Klan stuff to me. And it's like, and then our people are out front holding up a banner for these people, keeping us away from them. We can't even get to them because we can't get through our own people. Now, to your comment, Eric Jones. See, and I've been in this thing a while now. You know, and Eric and I used to talk. But after a while, I started figuring Eric out. So you're not about what's best for the children. You're about what's best for Eric. All right? And then I'm like, I look at Kira. I see right through Kira. I look at Patrick Dobar. I see right through Patrick Dobar. None of these people are concerned about our children. They are concerned about their own. Tracy Washington. I gave Tracy Washington a whole lot of information about Steve Barr. Tracy Washington gave it back to me. Tracy Washington hosted the meeting that y'all were at Monday night. You had people from WBOK that was at that meeting on Monday night. Now, I'm telling you what I heard because I wasn't at that meeting. So now I'm looking at what is really going on. Let me get Carl Goodman on line 1. Carl? So Carl, let me ask you this. So you feel that Kira is the same way? She just had powwow. Kira, Kira Jones, the Bessie board member, that's supposed to be, and I'm not stuttering, representing us. Because they don't, I gave them information on John White, Gillianstein, and Steve Barr. I'm telling them these people are taking the money. They're telling me that they can't give it, the people they write for don't want to write the story because of those 3 names. So they're not trying to arrest those people. But if their last name was Jefferson, they have them all over the news, parading them up and down the street with handcuffs. But they're not touching these European racist Americans that are destroying our children. And I'm getting tired of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, Carl, but I want you to listen to this. I'm having a meeting on December the 3rd with the people from Washington, D.C., and I'm going to get with you because I want you to attend that meeting as well. All right, Brother Carl. Thanks for your call. Kwame Smith, what you want to say, brother?
Well, Frank, you know, as usual, we keep talking about all this money. And, you know, we want to know, well, who's supporting who? Mm-hmm. You know, we kind of got into that throughout the campaign, but I don't think that discussion should stop. Mm-hmm. We have to continue to follow the money. Now, we have board members now on the board that are new to the board as a result of the election, and some of them we wonder about what type of decisions they're going to make in these upcoming board meetings. We have a board meeting coming up on Tuesday of next week. We need people to come out to those board meetings, even if you don't have something really to say, but you need to be aware, and you need to know which direction these board members are going with the decisions that they're making. Mm-hmm. I would like to also say, check out my web page, my Facebook page, because I just downloaded a link that talks about the campaign finance reports. Mm-hmm. And people need to really pay close attention to those type of things, mm-hmm. because those that support the candidates, especially with the big money that was put in it, with people like Kiara Orange back in the Bessie board, last election they had, also people like Sarah Houston, you know, people like Nolan Marshall. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure we pay very close attention. Look at who was supporting Mr. Koppel and Ms. Houston and Mr. Marshall. Mm-hmm. You know, we're talking about the politicians that run our city. Mm-hmm. And we have to know what the plan is. The plan is to go 100% charter schools, 100% charter schools, first of all, is not self-sustainable. But no one wants to talk about that. I will continue to talk about that because those chickens will come home to roost. There's no way in the world that's not going to fly. Okay? So we also have to look at, well, what's happening in other places around the country. Not too far, just about an hour away in Baton Rouge, they want to divide that whole school district up into 4 independent areas and then ask the students to apply to go to any school that they want to in those 4 areas. But no one will no longer have the right to go to a neighborhood school. You can have, one gentleman said, you can have 7 kids in the same neighborhood on the same block go to 7 different schools. He said there's something wrong with that. You know, and no one wants to talk about those issues. I hear the young people over here talking about they just lost another math teacher. I would like to say that I did apply to be a math teacher at Cohen. Never came to fruition. But we still are looking for a math teacher. There's a problem there. Frank, yourself, you're an educator, but you're out at Jefferson Parish. I'm also educated, but as soon as the election was over, I went back to Tangible Hope Parish where I'm doing day-to-day sub work. But I've been on a list for over a month with RSD, and not once I've been called to do any sub work. See, there's something wrong in this town where people who live here can't even get to work here because the people that are hiring, they're not from here. And they want to do things differently. They keep saying, let's rethink public education. No, let's rethink who's in charge of public education. That's the problem.
Okay, now and then to add on to what you were saying, it's like they don't want us working here because we have conscience. You know, if you have a conscience, you cannot work for RSD. They will fire you. They will not rehire you. They want the people that don't mind cheating on the test. They want the people that don't mind, you know, destroying our children, taking away their self-worth, taking away their pride, taking away their dignity. That's what RSD want. Ku Klux Klan is running this thing.
Look, first of all, Frank, when you have people with like minds and like decision-making, sometimes they can be wrong and they will continue to move down that wrong path unless they have people with different thought patterns and different ideas. A difference of ideas sometimes is best in any organization so that you don't continue to make wrong decisions. RSD, Bessie Board, John White, and many of the people that are involved in education all the way up to the federal level are really making some poor decisions to continue to allow what's happening to happen.
Okay. So what we're going to do with that, we're going to take line 1, we're going to come back and we're going to hear from our children. Line 1, Anthony? I'm good, brother. What's going on? Have the people y'all been meeting with, talking to the people that you hear and talk today?
No.
No. And I remember when I came to Cohen, I met y'all at that church the first time that Sunday when they had that meeting. And then the next time they had y'all sitting outside in front of Cohen. I got off from work, I came over there. They were talking about Landry was going to go to RSD. And they wanted to know how the kids from Cohen wanted to go, but they didn't know how they was going to get y'all there. So I got with Open, and Deidre gave the money to pay for the bus. And y'all know that's how we got there. After that, I didn't hear nothing from y'all. Nothing. I talked to Tracy, and I asked Tracy, can I get them kids from Cohen to come on to the radio show? She said, I'm gonna call you back tomorrow. That was 2 weeks ago.
Well, we've been discussing Tracy, and we see that she's playing both sides. So
stop right there. You know, and it's amazing that children could see that. It's amazing that children can see that, but we got adults that will run when Tracy has something. We got radio stations that are trying to push her. She is a part of the problem.
Right.
Go ahead.
So we decided to cut her loose. We don't want her working with anything with us because it's not beneficial to us. And we see that the only time she's around is when she sees she can. There's important people around. So she's gonna make herself important. So we tried to stay away from that.
You got something you want to add, brother? What about the caller online? The sister? John Shell, you got something you want to say? Okay, now let me tell you about their piece of paper. Did you see their piece of paper?
No.
Did they let you read what they was talking about? So they just was telling us what they thought we wanted to hear. That's what they were doing. See, like I say, I've been in education for 18 years. I've been dealing with people for all my life. I have been around some of the people that was involved in the civil rights movement. When I was living in Atlanta for about 5 years, I sat down and I had conversation with Christine Ferris King. That is Martin Luther King Jr.'s sister. I sat down and I had conversation with Bernice King, Reverend Bernice King. That is Martin Luther King's daughter. I sat down and I had conversation with Andrew Young, Reverend Joseph Lottery. I know, I wasn't around, but God put me in a position where I could talk to people that was around, that was in the struggle, that was walking with this man. And with that said, I want everybody at the sound of my voice to read the letter from the Birmingham jail. God had me up 2 o'clock this morning reading that. And I thought I was reading it to tell it to the preachers. But as I got into reading and reading and reading, I'm like, this is for everybody. When Martin wrote it, he was writing it for the preachers. But today, it fits everybody. So everybody, whenever you get a chance, at the sound of my voice, read the letter from the Birmingham jail written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I have 2 calls. Before I get my callers, I'm going to let us. What's your name? Ashanti?
Ashana.
Ashana. Go ahead, Ashana.
So I wanted to say that the students have been working diligently every day. I'm putting together their campaign that what they want to see about 2 weeks before Mardi Gras. And they do want to, and a lot of people are right, this couldn't happen without our community allowing it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to say that. We're supposed to be the baddest city in the country. We have all these people, those soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
we the baddest of the biggest of the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they have systematically come into our city, killed our schools off one by one. Where's Booker T. Washington? Where's John F. Kennedy? Where's Andrew J. Bell? Where's Frederick Douglass? And so like all these alma maters or all these schools that they have systematically killed off, where are y'all?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where are you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me get this call from Danielle line 1. Right. Now, okay, thanks, Bobby. Let me say this. I had somebody say to me just the other day that they do not believe in demonstration, protest, rallies, and boycott. And I said to that person, it's because of what you don't believe in, you have the rights that you have today. And I talked to a couple of people, C6 people, I said, well, we need to have a mass demonstration the week of the Super Bowl. A mass demonstration the week of the Super Bowl. We need everybody from New Orleans need to come out. The children, the parents, and those educators that are unemployed. I may look into my phone book and call the people that I met in D.C. from the other different states to come in and help with this rally. But the problem with that, because they're going to have a Super Bowl, the hotels are going to be packed, we need to go back like they did in the 60s. We have to have people in New Orleans to open up their homes, open up their churches for these people to sleep and rest while they help us deal with this problem. I also say, and Kwame said I was crazy, I can't do that we need to boycott the LEAP test. We need to have our kids go to school the week of the LEAP test, sit down there and just look at it. Don't write your name on it. Don't do nothing. Just look at it. We're not taking it. What they gonna do? And said, well, then Kwame said, well, Coach Frank, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. I said, you have to take the LEAP test. I said, Kwame, the only thing we have to do is live, die, and stay black. That's the only thing we have to do. We have to live, we have to die, and we have to stay black. Now, the LEAP test is an unjust test. The private school students don't have to take it. You have other teachers, other schools, other principals that are cheating on it. You have people that fail it, and then the teachers give them a waiver and move them on anyhow. What is the purpose of the LEAP test? Teachers have, and then it's like you could have score a basic in math, a basic in language art, fail science, fail the social study part of the LEAP test, and move on. What is the purpose of that test? So why not boycott it? Tell them you take it. Tell the teacher you take it. Here, you give them all the books. Y'all take a test. I'm not taking it. Anybody want to say something? I got Sandra on line 2. Sandra? Hey, Sandra. Well, you want to respond?
So it was about the children putting it on record to all of the Bessie members, so that when the students do decide to put their petition forth asking for people's resignations, well, when they go on attack, no one can claim ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you don't want to attack ignorant people. But now that you know, so then it's up to you to do something. So that's part of the reason it was important that the students go and state what they had to state in front of the Bessie meeting, the Bessie board members, and also just so they could see for themselves how they would behave. I don't have to tell them any opinion about Kara Orange Jones, because they got to see her in action and form their own opinion. So it's not about what any adult tells them, because so often they'll say, well, you guys are listening to what adults tell you instead of making your own informed decisions. So I always say, well, I'm going to bring y'all to the space. Y'all make up y'all minds.
Okay, thank you for your call, Sam. You know, like Sandra, I have to call out people, so I wish these people would have called out the names for me so I wouldn't have wasted my time with those people. So we have to call out people so everybody to know, hey, don't go to that meeting, that's a waste of time. Right. You know, you want to say something, Kwame? You got an itch.
Yeah, I really do have an itch. Right now, it's very important that people that have experience and testimony to give about what their child has gone through with RSD schools, with charter schools. It is so important right now, because as we lead up to this meeting on December 3rd, that's what they're coming down here for. They want that testimony. They want to know how you feel, young people. They want to know, parents, what's going on where, you know, you don't think that it's okay for your child to be up 6 o'clock in the morning, coming home when it's dark at 7 or 8 o'clock at night because they have to go to school across town and they can't go to the school 2 blocks from their house. Why? Because of legislation that says a charter school must be an open school. There's something that needs to be done about that, but nothing will be done if noise is not made. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's that simple. We don't open up our mouths and say we're not happy that we have a problem here, Houston. We need to get it together. They're not going to come down here. Obama's administration is not going to pay any attention unless we hold their feet to the fire. Y'all mad at Cornel West? You're mad at Mr. Smiley? Well, you need to be thanking them for being at least doggish enough to say we're not going to just allow the president to have my vote without them having my rage or having my ire about what's going on in their community. They know what's happening in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is the model they want to use across the country to say that charter schools work at a 100%. But the problem is it does not work. And we have to say it. Get online. Go to my webpage, my Facebook page. Just Google Kwame Smith or Kwame Smith for School Board. That's still going to be there because I will continue to run and continue to keep people mind or an eye on the prize when it comes down to what's going on in the schools, what we really need. They talk about we care about the children. If you care about the children, you make sure they have good teachers in front of them consistently. If you care about the children, you wouldn't be putting on the website like Algiers Charter School did, I need 9 more teachers on November 15th. When I applied back in the summertime, and you still tell me you need more teachers, there's something wrong with this picture. I talk to educators all the time, other principals that say, oh, yeah, I'm still in need of a math teacher, but goodness gracious, you had my number, why you didn't call? But see, people ain't speaking up. That's why you keep doing that.
You want something you want to say, sister? Then I'm going to take this call and we're going to get out of here.
Just to piggyback on what he said, when we did talk to Dana Peterson after the Betsy board meeting, he told Terrell that he wanted him to be successful. He wanted him to have more than what he has. So my question was to him, well, how do you want him to have more than what you have when you're not giving him the proper tools to succeed in life? You or your organization. Because you're really just the public relations. So how you want him to be successful and have more than a nice suit and a nice car, and you're steady firing his teachers.
Okay, now let me say this about Dana Peterson. Dana Peterson's name shows up as a board member for the Futures Now at John McDonald on 108 Minutes. So he was sitting on that board. And then he sat on that board, then a couple minutes later, I bet maybe a month or so later, it shows up on the minutes that he had to tell the board member at Futures Now that he had to step down because he's taking a job at the Recovery School District. See all these people that are up in y'all face? And I was telling the Reed students from the beginning, because they wanted to go demonstrate in front of RSD when the RSD was on Poland. But somebody talked them out of it because they said, well, we're supposed to be having a meeting with Dana Peterson. I'm telling y'all what I know. These people are no good. You're wasting your time. And everybody like, stay away from Coach Frank. Stay away from Coach Frank. Coach Frank is crazy. Coach Frank is not crazy. Well, let me take that back. I am crazy, but I'm not stupid. You know, Noah was crazy when he was out there building that ark in Southern California, and people was telling him it don't rain in Southern California, but he still was out there building that ark. And when the rain came down, everybody died but Noah and his family. So, you know, Coach Frank may be crazy, but he ain't stupid. Let me take line one, and we got to get out of here. Line one. Good morning, brother. Good. You want to answer? Okay, brother, you want to respond to that? You pulling the mic.
I wanted to speak on what's going on at Cohen. I mean, they phasing our school out. We only have 11th and 12th grade. They phasing our school out for another failing school. And that's a big problem for me because we had the second highest growth in RSD. So I was just wondering, with a 97% graduation rate, how could we be such a failing school?
Mm-hmm. I told you that earlier. The reason they didn't get rid of your teachers because you were a failing school. They got rid of your teachers because John McDonald didn't want to lose their teachers. John McDonald didn't have enough students. But so that's why they did that.
This the thing I was thinking about. Since they constantly still firing our teachers, so I felt like, in the sense, they was getting us prepared to move to John Mack. Mm-hmm. And I would not be one of those students that's moving.
Nah, and see, and they were supposed to do that. I think that Thursday they made the decision to make y'all go to John Mack. Then y'all were outraged. Yeah. So then that Friday they said they're going to send those teachers over there. You know, but with that said, you know, I got 5 minutes I need to close. You know, Sandra was saying that my show, this is my last show. I can't continue to support WBOK because WBOK is not supporting me. See the show we just had today? We were supposed to have Oprah here today. And Oprah would have been videoing this show today. But because I could not get a signature from anybody, from Danny Bakewell, the owner of this place, I could not, they couldn't come in. And we've been trying to get that done for 3 months. Cheryl Charles, who used to work here, gave the release form to Bakewell. He did not sign it. She faxed one to him. He did not sign it. I called California myself and can't get no response. I cannot continue to support this radio station because I don't hear anything coming out this radio station that is supporting me and the people in this neighborhood. So this is my last show. Now, I have some other, you know, and I like to say, give a shout out to Cheryl Charles, you know, because I'm tired of the lies. You know, they say, and I had to tell people why I'm giving up this show, because if I don't tell them, somebody gonna tell them a lie. So I'm telling them the truth. You know, Cheryl was fired, and then they said Cheryl quit. Then you put out on the air that, you know, Sandra Drummond didn't drop out the race, but she's still in it. So I want people to know Coach Frank is giving this up because Coach Frank is not receiving the support. And I'm tired of listening to stuff coming out this radio station that's not helping the people of New Orleans. So again, I'm sorry. I thank all you for listening to me, but I can't continue to do this. I cannot continue to do this. If WBOK wants to get some real talk, let's talk real. But if they want to just continue to do the type of things that are being done in our community and using our children and using our platform for your own benefit, we don't need it. I had to meet a brother, Gary. That's the one that's running it now. I met Gary 2 weeks ago to pay my money for the show in the Walmart parking lot on Chapatula Street. I had never had to do that when Cheryl was here. When I paid my money, I came, took WBOK. Ebony would be sitting at the front desk. Ebony would call Cheryl. I would give Cheryl the money. She would give me a receipt, and I was gone. I met the guy, Gary, in a Walmart on Chapatula Street. You know what that looked like when you standing in the parking lot and you exchanging money? And then he gonna tell me, I said, well, if I don't get Oprah, the signatures for Oprah, I'm not doing this show anymore. He said, well, I don't have any way to get in contact with Bakewell. I said, but if I don't get the show, the video done, I'm not doing it no more. So then he pulls out his cell phone, he started calling. I said, what you doing? I'm calling California because I don't want no mud on my face. Okay. So nobody answered in California. Then he starts strolling through his phone again. I said, what you doing now? I'm looking for Bakewell's cell phone number. Dude, you got more than mud on your face right now. You just told me you couldn't get in touch with this man. So that's why Coach Frank has to leave this radio station alone, because they're not helping what I'm saying. All right, Lee, I got you. You want me to wrap up? Look like I have another minute. That's 60 seconds. See? They don't like what I'm doing here, and I don't like what they're doing here. So this is a bad marriage that has to be divorced. Be blessed, New Orleans.